Category 5 Melissa, packing 185-mile-an-hour winds, slamming ashore this afternoon near the town of New Hope in southwestern Jamaica.
Although our original trip to Jamaica had been postponed due to Melissa, 6 months later, we finally made it to my mother's homeland. My first visit to Jamaica in over 20 years, and Bae's first time ever. Ciao ragazzi, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Anise, and I'm an American living between London and Italy. This Jamaica trip for us is what some would call divine timing. Considering what Bae and I were dealing with back in Italy, I'm not gonna lie, I still had a lot of anxiety about the renovation failure. But when we were with my family, laughing and creating new memories, all of my troubles completely melted away. My family lives in St. Elizabeth Parish, the area hardest hit by the storm. Weeks went by before I got confirmation that my grandmother and family were alive and coping, only making this reunion that much sweeter. Even my living in London feels somewhat a full circle moment because so many of my Jamaican family members immigrated to the UK during the Windrush era. My grandma was such a pro at documenting her younger years. These photos span her life in the 60s and 70s, from late night parties in London, weddings in the countryside of Jamaica, and even some of her working years in New York City in the 80s. On the back of each photo, my grandma scribbled little notes to archive the time. She often wrote the word smile in parentheses to indicate a jovial sentiment, her own early version of the modern day emoji. One of my favorite photos is this one of her and her brother in the early 60s. There was no visiting Jamaica, however, without seeing the devastation left by Melissa. Black River, the capital of St. Elizabeth Parish, was absolutely washed to the ground. This is what was left of my mother's childhood home, where many generations were raised. And this, my uncle's beachfront hotel. But Jamaica is a land of a resilient people. Not only did this trip give me the perspective I needed as I faced my own tribulations back in Italy, it reminded me of the resilience that flows through my veins, through my lineage. And that no matter the hardship, we can still find a way to work through it with a smile. A highlight of the trip for me was treating my grandma to a boutique holiday stay at Jake's Resort in Treasure Beach, which, only a few months prior, was a complete disaster zone. But in the unbreakable Jamaican spirit, the island is rebuilding, just as I intend to do with my own home. Until next time, friends. Ci vediamo!